so this question of like, why does it matter so much that we do it, and more importantly, that we do it correctly or effectively, what it calls to mind for me is Beverly Tatum's analogy of the conveyor belt. So she describes racism in our society as a system. And she uses the analogy of a conveyor belt, right? Or waiting for your luggage at the airport. And so we live in a society that has been structured and designed around racism, which means people are given advantage on the basis of their skin color and are disadvantaged and excluded on the basis of their skin color. We promote ideologies of white supremacy and white normativity. Those are baked into our laws, our policies, our history, and our present. And so we're all sort of, as Americans in this country and globally, we're having a conversation in the US. And so in the US, we are all on this conveyor belt. And most of us are just standing, but we're still moving in that direction. And the direction, the set point, is towards racial inequality. It's towards sort of white normativity and white supremacy, anti-Blackness. That's the normative pathway. And that's where most of us are. I think we like to think that it's the people who are running with the conveyor belt, those who are actively racist, actively promoting harm to others, that are the problem. And certainly they are. But the larger majority is those of us that are standing. And so the thing that I always take with me in terms of why we have these conversations is Tatum says, unless we're actively running in the opposite direction and faster than the conveyor belt, then we're going to be reinforcing it. So when we're thinking about what to say to kids or how to have conversations, it's a core question I ask a lot in my research as well, which is, in what ways is this work, is this question reinforcing racial inequity, the status quo, white normativity, or in what ways is it disrupting it? Because it's not doing nothing. And so I think sort of recognizing that neutrality or silence or sort of just doing nothing is indeed neutral, that's a fallacy. So just coming to grips with that by doing nothing, you're still doing something. And often that something is the exact thing you don't want to do. And so how can you engage kids in open dialogue, be honest, have genuine conversations, respect kids' knowledge that they're bringing, their experiences. They're not sort of empty receptacles that we're filling. It's really how do we open space for them to share what they know, and just really taking with us that we have an obligation. It's our responsibility collectively to be active disruptors and participants in creating the sort of society and culture that we want to live in.